Hey, Candy here. Today we're talking about Saranac Pale Ale beer. It comes from Utica, New York, the FX Map Brewing Company, 5.5 alcohol, and it's a 32 IBU. FX Map Brewery Company recycles all of their stuff. I was interested to know that, looking up their history, they recycle their grains, their wood pallets, their aluminum cans, their corrugated cardboard. Yeah, I'm all about the recycling stuff, so that kind of helps out. So let's give it a try. Oh, it's a nice beer. I could drink this all day. It's pretty good beer. I like the color of it because it reminds me of honey. So please drink responsibly, and welcome to Bees and Brews. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the different parts of a Langstroth beehive. First of all, you need something to set your beehive on. I prefer cinder blocks because they don't rot away. I know a lot of people use pallets or 4x4s. So personally, I'm just a cinder block kind of girl. Now, our first item is our bottom board. This is something that your beehive sits on. This one has the wooden bottom. A lot of people like that. It keeps, in the winter, the snow and the wind and everything. But that's your bottom basically. And then we have screened bottom boards. And I build these myself too. You get better ventilation with the screen in there, but the screen just lets airflow go through from the bottom all the way up to the top. Next item is the deep hive body. The bottom one will be for brood chamber. It'll hold where the queen lays her eggs. There's going to be two of the large supers or brood chambers. Everybody calls them something different. I just call them a deep, so large super. There's going to be two of these. You're going to have this one, and then you're going to have one on top. They make two different sizes. You can have an 8 frame or you can have a 10 frame. The 8 frames seem to be a little lighter for people, and this one is a little bit heavier. So bottom box is going to have where the queen lays her eggs. The next one on top of this is going to have where they store all of their honey. I don't have 10 frames in here right now because I don't have my frames with their foundation. A lot of times I let them build their own foundation. That way it's easier to change out after every 4 years. You can cut it right out easy. They can remake it. This is our medium honey super. It's a little bit smaller, and when it's full of honey, it weighs about 50 pounds. Here's a foundation in there. This is a wire foundation, just to give it a little bit more stability when you extract the honey from it. These measure 6 5/8. They do make a smaller one that's a shallow, and that's 5 3/4 inches. Some people that can't lift this much choose to use the shallow. I take them out one at a time because I'm not strong enough to pick this up when it's full of honey. A lot of people take a queen excluder and will put between the deep hive body and this honey super. So it would go underneath. So the queen can't get up into your honey super and lay eggs. I've never had good luck with it, so I let the queen go wherever she wants to go. This again, like I said, will hold 50 pounds of honey. This is something for you to extract. Don't ever extract the honey for them. Sometimes even in the winter or before winter, if their deep body is not full of honey, I will leave this on for them. I'd rather them have the honey than me have the honey. I figure it's an extra precaution for them to have a little extra food for the winter. So this is our inner cover. It is used on top of your hive bodies. When you add a honey super, this will go on top of your honey super. Every honey super you add, it's going to go on top of the honey super. This is for, the hole is for ventilation. This side, a lot of times I'll take a chisel and cut a opening here so there will be ventilation, or if you put it down towards the hive and you have the hole here, the bees can come and go and fill the honey supers or go down into the deeps. In the winter you can flip it this way, have the hole on the top part just for added ventilation so you don't get condensation. There's wax here because they've built on top of this. These little marks are from wax moths. I got wax moths one year, but they are very destructive. So this goes on the top of your hive. This is your outer cover. I make my own outer covers and just buy the flashing and cut it to size and then just screw it on, bend it and screw it. And I like them a little bit larger than the actual hive, so it has a little bit of room for me to get in to pop it off if they've glued it down with their propolis. Make sure your outer cover is waterproof. They make different kinds, or you can make your own. Like I said, with the flashing. You can use shingles, or they make styrofoam ones. Anyway, just make sure it's waterproof because you don't want any kind of moisture to get down inside the hive. So this is our entrance reducer. It's a little board that controls the ventilation and easier for them to protect the hive. If you're going to put it in for the winter, it just goes, your hive body goes on top of this. Make sure this is facing up, because when the bees die and they fall down, they'll add up. They still have room to get out. If you turn it this way and the bees die, they're going to plug that hole. They're not going to be able to get out. One good thing I learned from the bee inspector: when you first get your bees and install a package, you might want to just use the small hole, because there's not a whole lot of area for them to protect. Also, I have this really cool mouse guard. The bees can get in and out of all the little holes, but the mice can't get in. I haven't tried this yet. I'm excited to try it. I just purchased it. You just screw it down onto your bottom board, and then the bees can get in and out, but the mice can't. If you've ever had mice get into your hive, they can cause a huge mess in your hive. So those are the last two things. I'm going to show you a hive now. So this is a beehive. It's kind of set up. There's a large here. Here's your bottom board. I put this in front to keep the mice out. There's the large super. There's a medium, a medium, a medium, and a quilt box on top. Let's look inside, because it's a dead out. The rocks will hold the lid down because I have bears around, I have raccoons around. They like to get inside, especially if they smell honey. This is a quilt box. We're gonna do a whole episode on quilt boxes. My poor bees died at the very last part of the season. They died this past April. They had plenty of honey left. Plenty. I actually added this honey super on here so they could have enough. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough bees in there to sustain the hive. The queen was laying eggs, but there just wasn't enough bees to keep the queen and the brood going. It's a sad situation. There's no more bees. It's sad. We really need to figure out what's going on with bees. Hobby beekeepers, that's what we need. That's what this place needs. Even a commercial beekeeper told me one day, please get as many people as you can to be hobby beekeepers, because it's the hobby beekeepers that are going to keep the bees going. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like. Drink responsibly. Bees and Brews.